Wolf and happy Halloween thrifting a month in advance of when we're actually going to be thrifting. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Two Dogs Digs Hall Pass. Today on the Two Dogs Digs Hall Pass live every Tuesday that we can pretty well try and do, we're actually going to be talking about something that's coming up because there's a lot of opportunities for people to thrift and resell Halloween things. And believe me, you can scare up some great sales a lot of times with this sort of thing. So today what we're going to do is Rick is here with me in the basement down in his down in the dungeon. So he'll be joining me in a minute or two. We're going to take you through some stuff that we just recently sold as well. We're going to talk about some stuff that we found and some of our Halloween stuff that we've actually sold recently, and then also go through some of the stuff that we've just recently found in the past little while, and give you some tips and tricks as to what to look for in a couple of certain areas. Some of our kind of woofs, if you call them, are watch out for. So I am going to pop open the Spooky Good Dog. Don't wait, say hello.
Why?
Because then I don't know your speaker's working.
Oh, okay. Yes. Hello. Is the speaker working?
Yes, the speaker is working.
Can you hear the sounds that are coming out of my mouth?
I do.
Notice how they are synchronized.
Yes, I noticed that too. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for dropping by. I'm going to say a quick hello to those who we see here in the chat. Those of you who are also watching are too shy, join us in the chat. Come on. We're not that scary. Hey, hello to Janet and to Susan Spinsey. Lisa, Donna, hello. Hey, Nellie and Eliza. Hey, Andrew's here as well. Who else have we got here? Diana, Sherry. Let's see. Who else we got? Let's see. Miss Lisa from Winnipeg. Carl, still being lazy. Holly. Susan, hey, welcome. Sam Chap, thanks for coming in. So this is a show again about Halloween, but before we get into the actual Halloween stuff, I just wanted to talk to you about this little thing that happened to me today. So sometimes, I don't know if you ever get this happens to you. So there's a thing that we call cart envy, and I don't know if any of you have had cart envy. Let me know if you have had cart envy in the thing. And so cart envy, if you don't know what it is when you go into a thrift store and you see someone's cart just ahead of yours or come down an aisle towards you, and there is stuff in that cart that you just go, ah, damn it. If I'd been here 1 minute earlier, 10 minutes earlier, 3 hours, whatever, because you have no idea how long they've been there. That could be mine. Or you follow them around and you chant the thrifters cart envy chant, which is you can do it out loud if you want, but you do it in your head, which is put it back. Maybe you even walk down the aisle beside them and under your breath, you go, put it back, just to hope that they will. Sometimes it works. For us, it did actually. A couple of years ago, Rick, remember when I told you about I told the story about this, it was a sewing machine part that this person was looking at, and I looked it up, and it was like $150 sewing machine part, and it was $7.99 because I saw it. They're sitting there looking at it and all this stuff, and I just kept going, put it back, and I walked by them. I literally did stand behind the other shelf going, put it back, and don't touch that. You don't want that. Those are not the things you're thrifting for. Like, those are not the droids you're looking for. Anything along like that, those lines. And actually I stood half an hour going back and forth around this person who they just sat with it in a chair beside the sign that says, please don't sit on the furniture. And then they never put it back. So I left. Just as a fluke, I decided to go back after I had done a couple of chores 3 hours later, and it was back on the shelf. So I grabbed it, and we actually sold it for $150. So, hey, Allison, I'm just telling stories. Well, today,
Wasn't
here
that
it is.
it?
Oh,
Something like
that's
that?
it. Actually, was it 279 we sold it
Oh
for?
no, this is one that's listed right now, but it
No, we
was
sold ours for about 150, I think,
a
125,
Sally
150
Stanley
bucks. But yeah,
snacking
this is
heater.
what it was. It was, go to the third picture down, Rick, because it's actually, it shows you a little bit better. Click on the picture itself. There, it's a Sally Stanley smocking pleater, which I could barely even say, but when you looked it up and you could see that they were listed for a lot. So anyway, we saw, well, today, what happened to me today? I don't even know what the proper term is for this, because I didn't even get into the store and I had envy. As I walked into the one store, there are the cash register desks, and you can see the first cash register desk sort of as you're opening the doors to get into the store. And what do I see at the first cash register desk? About 30 of these on the table. About 30 of them. Now, these are 1988 vintage WWF glasses. And I don't even know what caught it for me to see, but when I walked in, there were like this, the entire, like that, the person you see over here right now is actually packing ones into a box. I couldn't see the prices on them. I couldn't get a picture from the side of the store, so I had to get inside, and this was still left there. And I was just like, and it was like, it had to be 30. And it was also the other thing I said to Rick, it was one of my thrift nemesis. So every Tuesday I see this one person and they're always giving me the evil eye. I don't know them, but like Carl, you meet people in thrift stores.
Well.
You meet people at thrift stores, Carl, and you talk about how much fun you have, and you chat with them, and everything. I meet people at thrift stores, and I'm basically getting whatever it is, like pointing at me, giving me. Well, this was the like pointing at me, and it was the witch pointing at me. I think for the fact that it was Halloween. I don't know. Maybe that's why this happened today. Anyway, I got home and I decided I had to look these up to see what it is they were actually worth. I don't know why. It's like, kill me. I'm punishing myself. And then I looked them up, and this is what I found when I was trying to get an idea on. There's not a ton of them sold. This is our eBay solds, actually, but they are selling for different prices. There's one that was sold for 78 cents, but a set of 3 for $45. These are all from Canada, so I think this set was a Canadian set as well. There's a lot listed, and I just looked up WWF glass. So, but I just wanted to tell you about my cart envy, which I guess would be conveyor envy. Oh, cha-ching!
Excuse me.
So, so anyway, that was me doing my. Oh, I got a little blurry there. I don't know why I got blurry. I moved too fast. I'm blurry. Why am I so blurry?
Christmas stuff is selling.
I know. I look blurry to you, don't I?
Yes.
I'm not sure. Let me see if I can.
I'm tired, so.
No, I'm just trying to see if I can refocus it back on my face. There we go. I guess it got envious of me or mad at me or something like that. So what is it that just sold? Oh, some Noma Christmas lights.
Some mini lights.
Mini lights for $28. And so I'll just show you what those are. And yeah, $28. And this is what we just sold for $28. 5 sets of mini light replacements. And those mini light replacements for $28 US. We got those in a baggy wall with probably about 25 of them.
Yep.
Like $4.99 because they're all just replacement lights. So, but yeah, it's got to be left or right. So that was one of the things that happened today. The other thing that was really weird was out of the blue, we had an item that we've had listed for 2 years plus listed. And this talks to you about the fact that some things are longer tail, some things you need to wait for the right buyer to come along for. And in this case, this happened to be something that we bought. We talked about when we bought it back 2 years ago or so. And this is a metal sign, and it's a sign for a video game called BioShock. And this is a metal reproduction sign for BioShock. And it's by a company called Displate. And what they did was they literally made like single presses of this for limited editions. And it's quite a big piece. It's still sealed in the plastic that it came in. And out of the blue today, we sold this for $150 US plus shipping. We put it in a large pizza box that we cut down for it, but it's very light and thin. But again, it was like Carl's like, yeah, that's just it. It sat for a long time, and I will say one thing. I was thinking about it last week.
Oh, I moved it because I was rejigging some of the boxes.
And Rick had to rejig some boxes. So it's part of that, again, spooky Halloween eBay Etsy juju, which is if you move something that you're not thinking about, it may sell. I saw a post actually today on the Boss group. I think somebody had mentioned they hadn't sold anything, and they moved a bunch of stuff around in their stocks, and they sold 3 of those things today. So I thought just mention those. It's Elisa sold a bikini she had for 2017. So the thing to keep in mind when you're looking at that and something that stays on a long time, keep in mind, if it's something that does cost you on a monthly basis, you want to keep that factor in. If you have a store on eBay and it's part of your free listing, sort of relisting, don't worry about it. But there's some items that actually cost every 30 days when you're renewing them. So you want to keep that in mind, because something that might be up there for a year at 28 cents on eBay, at 20 cents or 40 cents on Etsy, and it's staying there for years, that starts becoming $2, $3, $4, $5 worth of spending to list it. So you want to make sure that it's something that's got a value to it, or you had very little money in. So like in this case, $148 that we paid 99 cents for, I could have left that there for a couple more years. But I don't want to leave a bunch of $9 toys that I might have paid $2 for, which I don't even like listing, but even a $15 toy, I don't want to list that if it happens to be in a category that costs me 28 cents every single month, because after 1 year, that's $3.50 extra bucks of listing prices.
Craig, Allison had a question.
20 cents. Sorry, I flipped it around. I had the 4 in my head, so 20 cents for 4 months.
Allison had a question.
Do we sell more in the U.S. than Canada? Yes, we sell 90% of our items sell in the US. We list on .com, and even on Etsy, we list in US dollars. And 5% is international, and 5% is Canadian. So we don't have many sales. And in Canada, one of the things actually Rick and I were just talking about, and Lisa will know about this, and so will anybody else, Lane as well, anybody else who's an Etsy seller. They've started doing something really weird lately with their sales with the GST in Canada. So if you're a Canadian seller and you used to collect GST on your own, Etsy is now saying you got to find a way to fund that GST within your price, because we're not going to charge and collect it. If you're brand new and you don't have a GST number and you haven't sold a lot of stuff, we'll actually collect the taxes for you. That's our GST is our Canadian tax. So if you're selling within Canada, if you sell to the States like we do from Canada to the States, we don't have to worry about it. But if you sell within the States and you had registered, at least the saying, like, thank God, yeah. So yep, same. Susan mentions the same thing. Diana, same thing. We aren't either. So, but if you were registered and collecting, there was a story about a woman who's been on for like 10 years selling her something that she created. And Etsy's now saying, well, you got to collect your own tax in your price, because zero tax will be added. That's very, very confusing, I think, to a lot of people. So let me see, what else was I going to talk about today? So the rest of the day, let's chat about Halloween. Halloween is coming up. It has been something that we've seen showing up in a lot of stores. I'm just going to see if I can flip some pictures that I've got up here. This is like the one of the racks, that end of a rack that we have near us here. Let's see, what else have we got. This is, no, that's not that one. What's that? I don't know where the other photos all went. I had loaded like a video of us going through a Halloween section, but I didn't get. It doesn't look like I got it loaded up there. But it's really getting big. It's only 4 or 5 weeks away, and I wanted to sort of position this to you so you can think about Halloween as a whole. Let me see if I can find me other thing that I was going to look at. Halloween itself, just to give you guys an idea, on eBay, there are currently 480,000 Halloween listings sitting on Halloween right now. Under Halloween decor, all these different items are up there. But if you just look up Halloween alone and sort, you see 480,000 items. And that's sold. If we take out sold and completed, there's 4 million items. So it's got a 10% sell through. But here's the most interesting thing I found. Etsy has about 300,000 or so items listed, but a lot of this is the Etsy stuff is more craft related versus decor or used related. But here's something I found that was really interesting. I went to Terapeak in eBay, which is the research side of eBay for you. And Terapeak allows you to look at the past year. So eBay solds, remember, only allow you the past 90 days. So this, if you looked at those 480,000 items that have been sold on eBay that have the word Halloween in their title, that means somebody could have put something in that's doesn't have Halloween in their title. Like we sold a Creature from the Black Lagoon mask. If I didn't put Halloween mask in there, it wouldn't have even shown up on this. So there's probably another 100,000 or so more of this. So you'd think, okay, well, it's September. So 3 months, yeah, I guess people start thinking about Halloween in August, September especially, and really October. Here is what I found fascinating. I went and put the word Halloween into Terapeak to see how many, oh God, where'd I go? To Terapeak, there it is. To see what's in there. And in the Terapeak side of things, I'm just looking at the last 365 days. So you can see right here, it's the last 365 days in Terapeak. Thank you, Rick. And if I look here, the solds are over 2 million solds and over $77 million in sales with 273,000 people selling them. But here is the thing I found the most interesting. Look at the annual sales. It's even across the entire year. There is nothing in here that really shows you this in terms of the sale price. They're all averaging like a $30. And if we take out the sales trends, that's in there. But that just shows you that the average sold prices are in the $30 mark. And when you look at that now, in terms of total items, it's not as easy, but it's showing you that there are stuff that sells all through the whole year and has about a $30 average sale price. Yes, I believe you need to have a store in order to use Terapeak. Allison just asked that question. So I just wanted to show you some of the stuff that we have literally in the past couple of weeks, even on our own, we have got listed right now. So just so you know that we're not kidding about our Halloween side of things, we have 17 items listed right now for that are Halloween related, about $657. Everything from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle gloves. We've got those at $125 because they're vintage. Some Halloween decor, plastic black cat little pumpkin things. The fright plates, t-shirts, stickers, squishmallows, fabric, bags. So you can see all these different plush Scooby-Doo, candles. So look at all a CD, all these different types of things that we have listed over the right now, the 17 things listed. And most of those are things that we've had on for a little while. But we actually have we've been adding to that lately. And these actually have just sold. These are things that we had that actually sold in the past little while, which is one of the reasons that I started thinking about this for a show. We had this Creature from the Black Lagoon Halloween mask that sold in under a week for $30. We had the pumpkin. This is Rick's primitive pumpkin that he just picked a number out of thin air and sold that for $70. That just sold recently. We had a set of things that I found actually last Christmas, which was this really cute set, which is Eeyore's Pumpkin Patch. It's a Hawthorne Halloween Village, and this was $9.99, I believe, at at Value Village. But we also, when we found that, we also found Kanga's Village in there as well. And this is Kanga's Costume Shop. And with those, that sold for $75. And both of those actually sold within the past month and a half or so. So those are all things that we've just recently picked up and sold. We have all of these right now. And then in the past year, these are some of the other things that we've sold. Not the greatest photo because I uploaded them from Ink Frog. Frankenstein feet. An empty Halloween box. A mask. And we actually have more. This is all the sort of things that we've been doing. This is through our Ink Frog site. Inflatables. Witch pattern. So I just want pumpkin jack-o'-lantern. When you see the 0 beside it here, that means it's sold from us. This is just how Ink Frog happens to work. Winnie the Pooh figure. A California Raisins costume. So I just want you to think about it and realize there are tons and tons of types of things out there that you can look at for Halloween. Now, we're going to go into a little detail on one section in a couple of minutes, but I thought I'd talk about a couple of things that people immediately think about, and it's kind of what I would consider one of our woofs. Let's see if I can find that thing that we used to do. One of our woofs, which is a watch out for. We should get a picture of Doug doing that, Rick.
Yeah, we should.
You should, instead of a generic one. So our woof, and one of our woofs is
woof, Doug, woof.
One of our woofs is Halloween mugs and cups of all kinds. So this is something that I didn't even realize. I didn't think this was a thing. I knew Starbucks collectors were a thing, right? You knew that, Rick. We've sold lots of Starbucks mugs. We looked for Starbucks.
Yep.
I've known that Tim Hortons mugs are also a bit of a thing. They didn't seem to be as big as Starbucks, but that's obviously because Tim Hortons isn't as big in the States and Starbucks is big in the States. So, but Tim Hortons has got a good resale value on some of its things. Something I had no idea that I didn't think would have any kind of resale value. David's Tea. Now, I don't even know where David's. I've seen one of these in like a mall. It's closed. But this happened to be where I found just this week David's Tea Ghost. They're the travel mugs, and I actually went and looked up David's Tea, and this one we just watched. Rick did me. This week he was driving me crazy because all this stuff I had ready for the show with its price tags on it. I walked in one day, them. He washed everything, took all the price tags off, cleaned everything up. I was like, great. Now how do I show this as being $1.99?
I was helping.
He was helping. So that was $1.99. And I actually there's one listed for $23. So I wasn't going to pass up the potential to get two of those for $1.99 each. Strangely, one was $2.99, one was $1.99, but they gave them both to me for $1.99. If you recall a little while ago, I actually found a set of 6 of these guys. And this was Tequila Cazador's Skull Mug. And we sold those for the set of 6. We sold 4 to one person, 2 to another person. I have to find that person's address because the one person who bought the 4 of them asked if we had any more. Rick found this last week on Friday for a $2.99. We sold these for, I believe it was $30 a piece, $25 to $30 a piece. So we made like $150 on these mugs. So this is, I mean, it's Day of the Dead, but it's also Halloween because it's skulls. So keep your eyes open when you go to the stores. Rick, don't you have something skullish down there that you found as well?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm in the middle of
But
something.
we noticed there's usually a section. You'll usually see a lot of skulls all together in the one section. And let me flip you around to the big side.
Are these what you're talking about?
Yeah.
These we actually got at an estate sale. They were in a box with a bunch of planters. You remember where the big sewing machine stuff was? All of the knitting machines?
Yep.
This is from that house. They
Oh,
were
okay.
in the backyard because the lady was using them as planters. I haven't been able to find these exact skull mugs anywhere. They are kind of naive, or they appear to be handmade, but they are fired. So I don't know what we're going to list them for.
Yeah. So again, but it's sort of in that world of like look for this kind of thing. So that's one of the things that you will see a lot of in stock when you're looking at stuff. You will also see, if I can find this now, I just opened this. Where the heck did it go? There it is. You will also see a lot of pumpkins. And there are a number of these plastic pumpkin type things that are going to be another woof. We're going to we're filling this with woof. Because it's just, yeah, Mulder and X-Files. Yeah. Scully. Ah, yes. Uh, lots of liquor premium sell. Karen has sold a bunch of those Skull tequila mugs. Sugar Skull, yeah, that's the name of when you're talking like the sort of the Day of the Dead type of thing.
We listed them at $24.88.
24 So we sold the set of 4 for $100, and then the set of 2 for $50.
And we didn't have a multi discount for those either, so they paid full freight.
Now, Carl said David's tea is great. Just make sure it has the metal piece. What's the metal piece? I don't think there's a metal piece on these travel mugs. I'll have to figure out exactly what I mean. There's no metal piece on these from what I can see. And again, my hands are wet now because the bottom of that is wet. But yeah, so keep your eyes open when you're looking for things like that to see pumpkins, like the plastic like jugs and things like that. One of my favorite things that we sold, I don't know if I can find it or not. Let's see if I'll try and do a quick research thing on it in Terapeak for myself. What the six? I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. No, I got rid of the listing on that. Was we actually sold? So we found again at a thrift store a bag that had 6 vintage UNICEF little milk cartons. So the kind that the kids used to walk around 40, 50 years ago, 50 plus years ago, and walk around and get pennies donated when you got to the store. So you trick or treat and you have this little thing and go, can you give me money for UNICEF? And we found a set of these from the 60s, this bag full of 6 of them for like $1.99 or $2.99. And we sold those for $30 to $40 a piece. We may still have one left downstairs.
It's listed now, or it's
listed now.
Listed.
So it's just interesting the types of things. I see. Carl is saying, yeah, the tea strainer, but not all of them have that. Diana's saying probably not with the travel mugs. Sherry's comment is pumpkin buckets with wide handles are older and sell best. Well, Rick, when you were looking at the pumpkin things, what were you doing when you're looking at those? Because you grabbed a couple of those pumpkins.
Yeah, I was actually looking to see again for the wider handle. Right now, the newer pumpkin handles, if they're plastic, they're almost like a string of plastic, versus the wider handle, almost like the carry handle for a large cardboard box, like the Mac boxes.
So that's what you're talking about. That is like the thin. That's newer.
Yeah. And the other thing I was looking for was the
Something like that in the
manufacturer.
back is a little more older.
It could be, yes.
Okay.
But I was actually looking for who manufactured it. The big name for plastic products is Empire.
Yeah.
So anything Empire is going to be made in the USA and vintage.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff for Empire, what would we call that? That would be a Halloween candy.
Yeah,
So right now there's 500, and we actually have one of these up there. This smiling black cat is probably ours.
it is. That's
But
our
these
background.
candy buckets are Empire candy buckets, and you can see 19, 20, $30. A huge thing if you can get your hands on them is the Disney versions of the Halloween treat buckets. Popcorn buckets, treat buckets are almost the same thing. But take a look at those. And if we go to solds on that side of thing again, and this is part of this show is again to just have you think, I never really thought about picking up. I see that set of orange buckets. So look at this. Let's see what these are. I haven't looked at them. So $69 for this Empire Blue Mold. Now, I'm not sure because this and this one are the same picture. The one on here and the one on here are the same picture. This sold out, the third probably didn't get paid. Then it sold buy it now for $59. So let's take a look at the one that sold on the buy it now for $59. Let's see, original listing. So again, that's a little different in the actual listing itself. The pumpkin, it's got the word trick on the bottom of it. It's two-faced. Looks like it's on one side, trick and treat. That's why it's the one side says trick, one side says treat. So that's a $60 pumpkin bucket that
Yeah,
you
the
might have
paint
walked
actually looks
by.
really good on that too.
Huh?
The black paint for the
Yeah.
accents looks really good.
You'll find that's the one thing that you got to watch. There's some more that are sold for $50, $60. So that's a standard $50, $60 thing. The black cats are very popular. You can see all of these in here. That's like one of ours that's in there. And again, just different things. This is like a Casper kind of thing. And this is just Empire. And so that's the name that's on the bottom of the actual thing. So we found that cat. And again, the reason we bring these up is these are normally priced at like $1.99. This is really, really cheap stuff that you can find at thrift stores because they don't think of it as like vintage. They think of it as
I
either
forgot to
something
bring
for a kid.
the big thing down.
Uh,
I'm gonna go off camera and grab something.
yeah, go ahead. They don't think of those as anything other than, well, maybe it's for kids or maybe it's to put your candy out in. So they don't look at that as being a big price item. So it's actually something that you can find for $1.99, $2.99. It is a little big for shipping, so you got to make sure you found the right boxes in advance for shipping them because you can't crush them down or fold them down or anything like that. But take a look. I mean, I saw today again when I went to that thrift store I was at today, and because I actually took this photo while I was at the store today, just because I didn't have a photo of those. So I want you to keep again that sort of thing. Pumpkin Halloween, yeah, Susan. Pumpkin Halloween items sell well because of the great pumpkin store. Yeah, they sell really well as well. And then every once in a while, you can find something that is also got some other interest. I'm very, very surprised, actually, so surprised right now that there is not a lot of hocus pocus stuff that's out there. Now, one of the places, if you like to do what we call retail arbitrage, which is going to a store that's got stuff that's priced retail. So this is going to not a thrift store, but going to a real store. Then you will be able to find things. So you can take a look right now at Walmart, at Home Depot, at Lowe's, at Canadian Tire in Canada, at TJ Maxx, probably at Gabe's, at any of the retail stores will have their Halloween stuff out. And of course, the big Halloween store is Spirit Halloween. And at Spirit Halloween and Costco, yeah, at Spirit Halloween, they have a lot of items. And some of these items sell out extremely fast. And as a flipper, It's something you may look at trying to find and buy and sell. Last year there were little light boxes. They're little round light boxes, and they had Hocus Pocus on them with the witches, the Sanderson sisters on them. But Hallmark this year, for example, they came out with one of the Sanderson sisters last year, Winnie, and they didn't come out with any this year. I think Disney pulled the licensing away because they knew that they were going to be having their movie, because it's coming out. Like Hocus Pocus 2, We're Back, Witches, is coming out in like 3 weeks. A week to 3 weeks. I'm not sure exactly when. So and the trailer's already out. It looks amazing if those of you are Hocus Pocus people. It'll be on Disney Plus, by the way. It won't be in the theaters. But I'm surprised. I don't find a lot. But last year, we were flipping Hocus Pocus items from retail. We were retail arbitraging Hocus Pocus items. So we had actually bought, they were called door greeters. They were this big, and it was the 3 Sanderson sisters. And I got those at Spirit and at Walmart, this big. And these big things that were cost us $25 a piece, but I was flipping them for $75 a piece. So I was making $30-$40 on each flip. So it was an investment, but it was paying back because it was something that was literally selling out. It was kind of a bread and butter Halloween thing. So keep your eyes open on that sort of thing. Now, I think Rick has something he wants to show. Rick, now that I've talked about the retail arbitrage a bit, you coming back?
Yes, I am back. Ta-da! No, we were thrift store shopping last week, and Craig had already done most of the housewares aisle and the Halloween display. And I looked up on the very top shelf, and there was something that Craig didn't even see.
How could I miss this?
It's a giant pumpkin blow mold, and it's so cute. Sorry.
I have never seen this kind of cute face on a blow mold either. $6.99.
So it was the first thing I saw. I looked up and grabbed it, put it in my cart, and then met him in the store about 20 minutes later. And he said, "Where did you find that?" I said, "It was right up there." And I'm short. I'm not supposed to see things on the top shelf. He is.
I have no idea how I possibly walked by something like that. So, but it just happened to be something I walked by. I just see. So I'm going to show you now some of the stuff that I literally have found in the past couple of weeks. The other big thing is Haunted Mansion, Disney Haunted Mansion. Now, this particular stanchion, if you ride the Haunted Mansion at Disney World, which is Rick and I's one of Rick and my 2 favorite rides at Disney, and we've been to Disney a lot. Not recently, but we've been to Disney a lot. Our record Disney was 5 trips in 1 year.
Yep.
We've done Disney at New Year's Eve. We've done Disney in the middle of the summer. We've done Disney on March break for Brazil, which we didn't know was March break from Brazil until we saw thousands and thousands of Brazilian kids there. But I actually this is a custom made. This is quite heavy. This is a custom made thing I bought for Rick. And it's as you go in the ride, this is how all of the chains to hold the line together on the ride are done. And somebody actually cast this out of one. And this is at our front entrance with little lights that we can turn on and off. But Haunted Mansion is a giant thing. And if you go to Spirit Halloween, you will actually see a lot of Haunted Mansion stuff. And that's also because Disney's coming out with a new Haunted Mansion. That new Haunted Mansion movie is going to be coming out next year. Plus, last year, the Haunted Mansion Muppet Special was on. Dun, dun, dun! Dun, dun! You have to watch that to get what we're talking about there, but it's actually on Disney Plus right now. So anything Haunted Mansion has a huge cachet behind it, and a lot of other Disney stuff too. I mean, I just picked this up, and this is some of the stuff we're just about to show you. This was just picked up. I think this was $3.99. Little guy. It's nice and easy as a blow mold to ship because it's so light. I haven't even investigated the price on that, but anytime I see a blow mold of any kind, I make sure I grab it. I have to do one thing, which
Yes, they
I'm
did.
going to be.
Yes, they did, Elisa.
Yes, that's the original. This next one has, I believe it's. I can't remember who the star of it is. It's not Tiffany Haddish, but I can't remember who the star of it is. Regina King. One thing I will say is when you do this, you have to remember as a thrifter, especially if you're looking at some of this Halloween stuff, it's time to make sure you've got a mini screwdriver, star and flat mini screwdriver, and AAA and AA batteries with you, because I actually didn't. And I'm lucky because I bought a number of things, because one of the other things that we're going to talk about here, which is what we love, that's another one of our woofs. Another one of our woofs. Yeah, there's another one of our woofs, because this is what this one's all about, is interactive or active things. So we talked about those regular pumpkins, but something else that's big is things like this. This is actually a battery powered, they call it melted popcorn kitty. This actually has a plug. So I got to plug this in to make sure this works. This was actually from Kmart in the States. These sell for about $35. And we just picked this one up for, I think it was $4.99. It actually still has the tags on it and everything. So it's like brand spanking new. But some of the stuff I got that didn't have its battery in, this I put on last week, and I forgot to. This was. It actually plays the entire song. So you can imagine. So.
Doug did not like that.
Wait, where do I turn it off? Where do I turn it off?
Put it on backwards.
There, the back or the front, depending on where you put it. So in this case, batteries are inside there, but I didn't get to try it on. I loved it for the look, and I was hoping that it would have the batteries inside it. So this is something that is a good potential for us to make money on. Again, that was under $5. This is a cute little lamp. Again, these are small things, but they're nice and light. We actually got this for the stanchion is sitting on the box from it right now. We got two of them. They're from a company called All Hallows Eve, and it helps when you look those things up, because then you'll be able to tell if they are more vintage or not. This is this little guy here, and this actually has a battery. We put a battery in it. We do batteries for all our testing so that we can take pictures of them. So this has got this little thing, and we're going to be listing this for $25. And we'll put a little video of it on there as well. Then we'll take the batteries out when we go to ship it. But that was brand new in the box. We also found this, which I think is hilarious. Unfortunately, I couldn't test it. So when I bought it, it had, again, all the price tags are off these because Rick took the price tags off preparing these for me. Thank you. He is learning his lesson, hopefully. And the thing is here, the other thing that we want you to keep your eyes out for, we want you to watch out for, is what name, Rick? What's the big name in interactive items for Halloween?
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's Gemmy.
Not Timmy.
Jimmy.
Not Timmy. Jimmy. Jemmy. Gemmy. So this actually happened to be a Jemmy item. So we can see on the back here underneath. Jemmy Industries. Now, it's missing its screw from there. But this is what I'm talking about. I did not have batteries in this. And this was $2.99 at Salvation Army. But I bought it because I thought it looked fun. And then luckily I brought it home. And the batteries do work.
It's very spooky out here. I'm a little scared. What was that? Did you hear something? Hey, you. Yes, you. Over here. Care to see something really scary?
So I love this. It actually has a motion detector on the bottom. The motion detector, unfortunately, is not working to the best that it should be. It actually, I think this one has a $4 sticker on it. This might have been a garage sale find, right? Was this from that Halloween
Oh,
garage?
that was from the Halloween house.
But even with that, I wished I brought the batteries, because if I didn't have the batteries, this wouldn't do any of the stuff that we saw it do, or you saw it do right now. And hopefully, it didn't scare too many people. This little guy was $1.99. This is the It's Alive. It shakes, it glows, it screams. It's the Action Wind Sock. Who would want an Action Wind Sock? Well, for $1.99, if I can flip this for 25 bucks, and again, this was brand spanking new, and this is from Trendmasters, which is another huge thing. You can see right there, it's dated 1993, so quite vintage. We're talking about this is 30 years old, and this is this spider. You can actually stretch his legs out to be any way you want them to. So this Black Widow spider, and when I turn the Black Widow spider on, it actually is motion activated. And light activated. And its eyes glow in the dark. So I don't know how it does it, but it's supposed to do both. I don't know how it. Oh, there it goes again. So cute as a front door type of thing.
Singing.
We had this, and stop it, and a singing candle that would not shut up. And I think the candle is still downstairs.
He was talking to the Furby too.
Oh yes, and then here's just a little hint: if you just when you're testing things, remember that this has nothing to do with Halloween. These guys just wake up in the middle of the frickin' night, and if you happen to be asleep and you wake up, and at 3:30 or 4:30 in the morning, you start hearing creepy baby noises coming from inside the house.
I'm hungry. Feed me.
I freaked out. I woke Rick up because I was like, what the hell is that sound? And he's like, what? And all you could hear, this was in our dining room. I freaked out, and he just looked at me and went, it's the damn Furby. So I had to get up at like 4:30 in the morning to take the battery out of this thing. Nothing but a guy. So these are all the kind of things that we're picking up. This is a plug-in one, so again, we could test that. So not a big deal.
There's body lights up, and there's a little flame candle that flickers.
Yeah, flickering candle. But it's not only that; it's also decorative items. So we got this little girl, this wonderful little witch, here for $1.99, and it's a dip bowl with the witch's feet.
Like pate. You can
pate or cheese or
pate on things.
Frog's eyes or something like that you may want to put on something. This is from Gans.
Toe Jam.
Underneath you can see there that's Gans. So again, you'll find Gans, Fitz and Floyd, a number of different manufacturers of more of the decorative type stuff. And again, some of that stuff we've sold in the $30, $40, $50 range. Catzilla, we've sold like big bowls for treat bowls and things along those lines. So keep those kind of things in mind when you're looking at stuff like that.
Craigie, what about this guy?
Oh yeah. I don't know if we got that up in draft. That's in drafts, but I don't know if I can show it.
I don't think the video will play.
Huh?
I think it's in drafts.
Well, let me just see if I can find it. So this is a larger thing, but this actually we've picked up at the Salvation Army, and again, this is where you kind of hope and pray that you actually have that it works when you get home. Oh, here actually, this is where this is our drafts right now. We have some of these things prepped. We're prepping these for our for listing just after this. So here's like that. There's the one more of the UNICEF boxes, an upside down Frankenstein mug. But let me just see if I can find. This is one of the things that we've got, which is again, it's from Jemmy. It's from 2007, and it is a floating. There's a better picture of it here. It's a floating pirate skeleton. So that's the pirate skeleton that you see. Now, I'm not sure. Rick did load a video in, but I don't know. It's saying on there, add video. So it's not that video isn't added in yet, Rick, or if it is, can you show it from your phone?
I might have to add it again.
Show it from your phone then. That's better. It'll be easier for you to do that way. Hold your phone up to the camera and show it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get it. This is my unedited video.
I was going to say, that's got to be unedited. Now, he also did a version of it in the dark.
Yeah, this one's going to be more difficult to see because
Don't worry about it. So he's editing the two of those together. But just so you know, that was a $7.99 buy. And what are we listing it as? We're actually going to be listing it on eBay at $125. And if you think we're crazy, there are actually solds on this guy for $95. So they don't have video. So the fact that we've got sold ones, I know that I thought it looked like a fog machine. No, that's the blue light coming out from underneath the bar. That's what the great thing is. So again, $7.99 buy that we're gonna. I mean, we'll accept offers at $95 for this, but we're gonna list it at $125 and go a little big on this.
And it's very light.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's quite light in terms of the actual weight for it. So the next thing that I'm going to talk about, and this is almost like its own separate little woof. So I'm going to build it almost like its own little woof, which is still in the Halloween world. But I'm going to put my little woof thing up and talk about it so I can cut this down to like a little 6 minute or two for anybody who can't watch the full hour. So. Woof! What we're talking about here is our Thrifting Halloween. And we're talking about Thrifting Halloween. Give a second here. Thrifting Halloween. And it's all about. Let me do that again. We're talking about watch out for Thrifting Halloween. Woof! Says Doug, and we're talking about masks, thrifting Halloween masks, because it's something really interesting that not a lot of people actually probably think about. So, like, this is something we just picked up for $2.99, and again, a lot of times this I can't do it with my glasses on, obviously, but this is some kind of like troll-like creature, $2.99. This actually, along with many other masks, we sell masks throughout the year. We've actually sold the creature from the Black Lagoon that we showed you just recently, and we picked up a number of other ones, including this guy last week, which is an evil snowman, Jack the Snowman. And we paid $7.99 for him. So why would we pay $7.99? Or what is it that makes us think about one thing versus another? Well, when you're looking at masks, this is what we want you to get an idea on. So I'm going to show you a couple of different types of pictures here of different masks that we've either seen or picked up. That we've seen or picked up.
He's actually sold for $70.
Yep. I was gonna get to that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'll stop now. You told me to look things up and to listen to you.
Anyway, here's some other masks that we picked up or seen. And what we want you to do is when you've got a mask, we want you to take a look at the mask and look at it as follows. So take a look at the mask, and when you pick it up, you're going to look at the sides and the base of the mask to try and figure out if you can find any manufacturer or maker's marks on it. This is one of the things that's going to help you figure out the age or how old the mask might possibly be. So in this case here, this happens to be a Ronald Reagan mask. Again, $1.99. If you turn it around, you can see right at the very back there, we're able to determine from that it is made by Caesar from 1989. And that gives us an idea on how we can look it up, how we can get pricing on something. In this case, this was a Jason or a Freddy Krueger mask. And if you look down in the bottom there, you can see that says right on there 2004. And it actually has the manufacturer name in there as well. So you can see what type of manufacturer it is on something. With this guy, unfortunately, it didn't actually have anything that I could find on it that was that had a manufacturer, and you'll barely be able to see it because I could barely see it. I gotta find it again. Right down in here, there was a made in Mexico and something underneath it, but I could not read the rest that was underneath it. But normally it's the type of thing where you're looking at down around here, right around the edges of a mask. If you open a mask and it feels plasticky, it's usually a lot newer as a mask. A lot of times you want to look for things that are soft and rubbery. There's a couple of great things about this because that also means that one, it can ship a lot of times flat. It could go in a bubble envelope. If you got somebody paying 40, 50, 60 bucks for it, don't ship it in a bubble envelope, but maybe put it in a blank pizza box or record box or something that's smaller like that. Same thing as this. This one, I might have to put on Google Images and try and figure out who the heck this is, because I did check all around the edges on this one, and all I could find on the edges on this one was the name 2005 Disguise. So again, that can help you when you are trying to look these things up. Let me just see, because if you look up, this is where you're supposed to help, Rick. If you look up 2005 Disguise Halloween mask, you might be able to find the definition of that. Or, and this is where it's going to be really silly, if I put this on and I end up, got to put it on the right way so I can see my way around, and I end up Googling my own head, which will be an interesting thing to try and figure out how to do. So I'm going to Google Lens myself, Google Lens, and I'm going to actually go like this and take a picture of myself on the TV or on the computer. So it is trying to look me up right now using Google Lens.
Anything using 2005.
And so I'm actually able to take a look at this and see if there's anything that is close to this. If not, it becomes the one thing I'm using this to try and get a better idea is if I'm calling it a troll, if I'm calling it Lord of the Rings, what is it that I'm actually calling it? So it's just an interesting way to think about it. But I want you to think about all of those masks that are sitting out there right now, and not only the mask side of things, but you may be able to find things like vintage makeup. In this case, this FX Transfers, this stupid little thing that was 99 cents is actually going to sell for us for about $20. So masks and makeup are big things for you to think about when you're considering it. And remember where to look around the edges, look for the indentation. Just make sure that you're taking a good look at the mask as a whole. And the rubber masks are better to look at than the other kind. I've now got them all smudged. Troll, yes, a troll would be a good thing. Ogre, troll, yeah, I'm trying to figure out which one of these things I'm going to end up calling it. So it might be, yeah. Totally stealing what tip? I didn't see that one. I got a great tip. What is it? I just saw Carl saying, great tip. I'm taking stealing that tip as his own. I don't know what tip he's taking.
I think it was looking around all of the edges of the mask for the maker's marks.
Yeah, I can't remember, Elisa, either. There are some others that are really big names if you see them. And again, an easy way would be just to look up Halloween masks as well. So if you take a look on eBay, and you just sort Halloween masks. You'll see again. Let me just pop that in. It's a Halloween mask. 24,000 live listings right now, and some of them are like ridiculously, some really expensive, ridiculously priced ones of like over $1,000. But Ruby's is one of the big names that you'll see from that, which is the costume store. We actually had at one point, I wish we had bought more. I bought 5 Worf masks from Star Trek The Next Generation with the long hair. I don't even know. Rick might even be able, I doubt it, to find. Don Post, that's it. With the long hair. And these were mint in the box. I paid $17 a piece for them. And I didn't want to spend more than $100 on them because I didn't know how long they'd take to sell. Looks like Rick actually found, this is our mask. That's me with the mask on. It had long hair from him and Deep Space Nine. We sold these on average, Rick, I think for $125 a piece. And I could not find them when I went back. The company who had them, they actually had a box, a big box, or 2 of them. And I went back going, I want the Worf masks. And I lied. I said, it's for my bowling team because I need to have a whole bunch of them. And they went, oh, I think they got put away in the warehouse. And they never came back out again. So that was a disappointing one. That's not Worf. That's Worf. That was Worf.
That was Worf.
I'm pretty sure it was Worf.
It was Worf. Yes, it was.
Okay. No, at least it said that's not Worf. But yeah, so keep an eye out on masks. Keep an eye out for anything that is that Halloween Halloween motif. Think about anytime you see a skull of any kind, anytime you see a ghost of any kind, if it's a mug, if it's plastic, if it's light and a blow mold, keep those things in mind because those are all things that you are going to be able to probably make really good money on when you are actually going into this reselling season. Now we got Carl, who is our Star Trekkie, saying Worf was on DS9. And Rick is trying to. Rick found, where's the label for it? It's in the picture that you had before.
Oh, sorry. Let me.
Anyway, so keep in mind Halloween, the Halloween fun you can have, searching for all this kind of stuff.
We identified it as Star Trek DS9 STMJ 1995.
Worf. Yeah. Anyway, nerd fight. So keep in mind, Halloween is good for you. It doesn't say it on there, but it is. Halloween is a good thing for you to think about. It's this time of year. You've also got to start thinking about Christmas because Christmas is starting to come out. But the Halloween stuff, in some cases, is just starting to come out as well. So hopefully you'll find something here that will help you scare up some extra profits when you're shopping out at Halloween. You are shopping at thrift store because many of you may not even thought about looking at Halloween before. And that's one of the things we want you to do is take a look at something you may not have even thought about looking at before. You might walk by masks, walk by pumpkins, walk by a bunch of stuff and go, why would anybody care about a little thing that's dripping from David's tea that still has water on the bottom of it, that has a ghost on it? Why would anybody want any of those things? Well, if I can sell them, you can sell them too. And on an average of $30 a piece that you saw through Terapeak with $7 million plus $70 million worth of sales, it's time you maybe thought about Halloween and add into your thing. So thanks so much. Yes. Thanks, Susan. Please, yeah, hit the thumbs up button. And hope you'll see us again soon. Next Tuesday, we will be back next Tuesday with a Thrift It or Throw It show. It's one of our favorites where we have a bunch of stuff and we ask you what you would do with it and we tell you what we would do with it. And it's never an agreement between you or us or even all of you. No one ever agrees on any of these things. Half the time it's you say don't buy it, I bought it. You say buy it, I didn't buy it. Half the time we are all, well, that's more than two halves or more than one whole. A lot of different opinions on what we have on here, but we'll have that next week as our Tuesday Night Live Hall Pass. We have a couple of little videos coming out. Shorter videos coming out this week on our Two Dogs Digs channel, so make sure you watch that. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well at Thrifting with Two Dogs Digs. And join us in our Facebook group, Craft, the Canadian or Crazy Resellers and Fantastic Thrifters group on Facebook. We'd love to see you there. So thank you so much for coming by on Tuesday, spending an hour with us, scaring up some sales of your own. And we want to know, if you find any stuff, what you did find. What did you look for this week that you didn't think about looking for last week? Maybe you can post it in Craft for us and let us know if this helped you, because we'd love to know if we are helping you as sellers. Time for us to go? Yes?
Yeah.
Hello, Rick, are you there? I lost him. No, it's not a frozen. The frozen picture hasn't frozen. He's just sitting there.
I'm sleepy still.
He's always sleepy. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again soon. I am Bad Dog.
And I'm Spooky Good Dog in the basement.
We're out of here.